Surface area, part 1, A, B, and C. Before you start these questions, you want to make sure that you have your formula sheet included in your package. So our first question here says, calculate the surface area of each shape below. So surface area is the area on the outside of a shape. So if you wanted to paint the walls in your bedroom, or if you want to wrap a present and know how much paper it takes to cover the outside. Anytime we're talking about the outside surface, we're talking about surface area. So our first shape is a sphere. I'm going to look at the diagram on my formula sheet, match it with what I have in my question. I notice that the radius is the distance from the center to the edge. So the distance from the center to the edge here is the radius. There is only one formula for surface area. It is 4 pi r squared. So I'm going to start by writing down my formula that surface area, is 4 pi r squared. Okay, so that means 4 is just 4 times pi. I'm going to use the pi button on my calculator. And then the radius is 15. And when I square something, I multiply it by itself. So it is 15 times 15. So I'm going to use my calculator. So 4 times, and then pi. If you do not have a pi button, you want to use 3.14159. And then that is times 15 and 15. So I get 2,827.43. The next digit is a 3, which means we're going to leave it as 0.43. So it is 2,827.43 centimeters. Our second shape is a triangular prism. And unfortunately, the triangular prism on our formula sheet does not look exactly like our picture does. So the key to doing the triangular prism is finding the triangle in your shape. So that's where the triangle is in this shape. And what I'm going to do is try my best to match the letters from my formula sheet with the letters in my diagram. So in the triangle, it has a base and what I would normally call the height, but this formula sheet calls length, and they always meet at 90 degrees. So here I have a side and then the inside that meet at 90 degrees, which means 80 meters is my base and 20 meters is my length. Now the other two sides on my formula sheet are A and C, so I'm going to call this one A and this one C. And then the other side in this one is called the height, which would be this part here, which is the height. So for surface area, the formulas on our sheet are broken down for us. So they do the area of the base and said that that is 1/2 base times length. So that base of our shape is a triangle, and that is the formula for the area of a triangle, except instead of doing base times height, they have replaced the h with L and done base times length. There are also on the outsides of the triangular prism 3 rectangles around the sides. So they said that was length times width, or AH plus BH plus CH, depending on which side of the triangle it matches up with. And then to get the total area, it is 2 bases, the top and the bottom, and then the 3 sides, which it says are the rectangles. So it's AH, BH, CH, because those are the 3 rectangles, and then 2 times 1/2 base times length. 2 times 1/2 is just 1 base times length. So when you're doing surface area, it breaks down for you how the formula is made up, and that's because sometimes you will see questions where you need to leave a side out. But if you don't need to leave any of your sides out, you can just jump to that very last formula on every single one of these and use that. So we're going to do AH plus BH plus CH plus BL. So surface area equals AH plus BH plus CH plus BL. So A is 35 times my height, which is 40. B is 80 times the height, which is 40. C is not labeled here, but it's the same as this side here. These are both 60 meters. It's the same length of that side. So it's going to be 60 times H, which is still 40. And then plus, I'm running out of room, B, so 80 times L, which is the interior height there, which is 20. Okay, I'm going to start by calculating and doing all of the multiplications, right? Order of operations says that we multiply before we add. So I'm going to do 35 times 40, 80 times 40, and then all of the multiplications. So 35 times 40 is 1,400. 80 times 40, I believe, is 3,200. 60 times 40 should be 2,400. And 80 times 20 should be 1,600. And then I'm just going to add all of those numbers together. So 1,400 plus 3,200 plus 2,400 plus 1,600. And I get a grand total of 8,600. And that is going to be meters. And because it's area, it should be squared. Which makes me realize that on the previous question, we forgot to put in the square. Sorry about that. Okay, our last shape in this section is a square-based pyramid. So I'm going to take a look at the picture that's given here. So B, those are the side lengths of the square on the bottom. So that's the 4 and the 4. Those would be my B's. The inside that hits the base at 90 degrees, inside here is the height. So this is H. And then the one on the outside edge of the shape is called our slant. So on the outside edge of our shape, that's our S. So once again, it has broken the formula down for us. It said there are triangles. So there are 4 triangular sides. One triangle is base times height divided by 2, or 1/2 base times height. Because this is on the outside edge, though, instead of height, they use S for slant. On the bottom, it's a square. That would be the same as a rectangle. So you would use the formula length times width. Length times width, B times B is B squared. And then the shape is made up of 4 triangles and 1 square base. So 4 times 1/2 is 2 BS, and then plus that single B squared on the bottom. So like I said before, if you're not missing any sides, you can just jump to the very last formula and use that. If you are missing a side, then you need to know what's making up each of those sides. So we're going to use 2BS plus B squared. So the surface area is 2BS plus B squared. All right, so 2 times B is 4, times S, my slant, is 6.3, and then plus B squared. So that's 4 times itself, so 4 times 4. We didn't need to use the height in this one at all. Okay, I'm going to multiply these 3 together, and then multiply those 2 together, and then we will add them. So 2 times 4 times 6.3 is 50.4. And 4 times 4 is 16. And then if I add those 2 together, I get a grand total of 66.4. So the surface area of this shape is 66.4 meters, and it is area, so squared. You can watch the next video to help you figure out next question.